I might watch that one. Let's see how this goes. Oh, I gotta go to bed soon.
This
but
video is brought to you by
this.
Incognito. Stick around to hear more about the special offer they're providing to the entire upper echelon community. All right, so for years now, like 7 or 8 years actually, I've complained about the relative quality standards for AAA gaming across many different genres. But today, after a series of high-profile failures, stock price fluctuations, revenue downgrades, and now a very interesting analyst report about the state of video games in 2025, I want to make the argument that the quality isn't just bad, with major publishers chasing all the wrong trends. I want to make a case that the bubble itself has actually burst. It's a prediction, obviously, and I could be wrong, of course, but my view is that the overarching trends of the AAA video game market have finally reached a sort of inflection point where the unsustainable nature of their choices are now fully untenable. The way that these companies develop, market, and release major franchise titles no longer works, and the severity of failure that we see from major industry players will either dramatically increase or the entire ethos of their publishing structure will necessarily change.
Yeah.
To make the case, I'm going to use roughly 5 different primary examples spread across 4 different major publishers, those being Sony, Ubisoft, Warner Brothers, and EA, Electronic Arts, concluding with a hilariously out-of-touch analyst report indicating that what game makers appear to be hoping for is a normalization of higher price tags in an industry where the
I'm not 100% against higher price tags for games. There's going to be pushback. I already know this, but it depends on the game you're selling. I think that's all that really matters. It depends on the game that you're selling. If your game is a game that's going to last me a year of playing at least, I'll spend $100 on it. That's a year's worth of entertainment for $100. But if it's something I could beat in fucking a week and you want me to spend $100 for it, I'm sorry. I'm not going to fucking play that shit. I'm just not going to play it. I'm not going to pay for it. Like, it's something I can run through in a week and I'm paying $100 for it. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care how pretty the shit looks. Like, I'm not paying $100 for something that's going to, like, get beaten and just sit in my Steam library and never get touched again.
The product that you get isn't even a product, often gets shut down, and never deserved the price tag it had in the first place. In summary, the AAA video game industry bubble has popped, in my view. Let's start with this. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Yeah.
I've talked about this one before, so I'll be quick here. But Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is an abject live service failure. Developed by Rocksteady under Warner Brothers as their publisher, the game utilized extremely well-known brand IP, which is a bit of a theme for the video. However, the final product was completely uninteresting. In terms of player traction, the game was an abject failure. And it wasn't long until Rocksteady announced that there would be no more future content ever developed. Yeah. Keep in mind, the whole point of a live service game is the future content.
Yeah.
Because major publishers identified that a season pass kind of structure allowed them better ongoing monetization. That is, better monetization if you have a player base.
Yeah.
For Suicide Squad, there was no player base, which led to the game being directly cited in the Warner Brothers.
Basically, nobody asked for that fucking game. Nobody wanted Kill the Justice League game. Nobody wanted that shit. You know what I mean? It was a game they just wanted a live service game to fill in a hole, but there's so many live service games people already committed to, and it's like nobody wanted that. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a pointless game to make.
Earnings call as a primary factor behind a $200 million revenue drop for the company compared to 1 year prior. I'm not entirely sure how much the game originally cost to make, but whatever the development price tag was, it was an example of shipping something that the players do not want.
Yeah.
What's next? Well,
nobody
next
asked
I want
for
to
that.
talk about Ubisoft, because Ubisoft is probably the best example you could possibly ask for when it comes to failure.
Yeah.
In all of video game publishing. Aside the fact that the company's stock price
fumbling
by like 90%
fumbling the
since
ball.
2021 highs, and brushing past the part where they release blatantly mediocre products like.
Look at that. Look at that fucking graph. Holy shit. God, I feel bad for anybody who invested in Ubisoft. Holy fuck.
Skull and Bones, with the sheer hubris to then say it's some sort of quadruple A video game.
Like, Sea of Thieves 10x better this game. Like, nobody asked for a pirate ship fighting game. We already had Sea of Thieves that was out. And like that was already one that, and like if you're gonna come up with a pirate ship fighting game, you have to do better than the best one that's out. I'm sorry. If you want to do anything copying somebody else's, you have to do just as good or better, either graphically or in the gameplay wise, the gameplay loop. You have to do better. And Sea of Thieves does it so well. Sea of Thieves is such a fun game. Kind of want to get back into that game. I'm kind of misplaying it.
Ubisoft has had a different project as well called X Defiant. X Defiant, a first person shooter that blends all sorts of different Ubisoft intellectual property together under one roof, wasn't even all that bad. But as a live service arena shooter, it was also just more of the same. It had players, sure, some of them, but not enough, at least not for Ubisoft. So in December of 2024, the announcement came through, X Defiant would be discontinued from development. Now, remember, one of the bedrock defenses that publishers have often relied on for years now, justifying why it's okay to release broken, unfinished products that lack any sort of innovative or deserving content for the initial price tag, unless they're free to play, is because live service apparently means you'll get more later on. But what happens if later never comes? Hopefully the pattern is beginning to emerge. If it isn't, don't worry, because there's plenty more examples to draw from, such as Concord. Now, as a side note here,
Oh my
some
God,
people
Concord.
like
Don't
to
get
make
me started
broad
on
sweeping
Concord.
accusations that some or
Another
all of the
Concord's another game nobody asked for. Now, don't get me wrong. Concord looked like it would have been fun to play, but man, like, just dead on arrival. You go woke, you go broke. You know what I'm saying? A good old saying rings true.
games failed because they're, quote, woke,
Yep.
unquote. But for me, that seems like a bit of a self serving exaggeration in a lot of cases. Maybe that was a factor for some people, but these games failed because they didn't provide anything worth playing.
Yep.
They weren't necessarily bad games, but tell
No,
me why
thanks for
someone
the
should play the
follow.
game in the background right now when Overwatch
SRS
exists, or
BSNS
Valorant, or
2001. Thanks for the
any
follow.
number of other hero shooter type games. You can't because it doesn't bring anything valuable to the table. The thing is, that wouldn't necessarily matter if Concord wasn't a $100 million product that supposedly took
I'm
8
good.
years to make. And just a few weeks after it finally came out, the game gets shut down because Sony had made a product that the market didn't want yet again.
Yeah.
And thus it was an unmitigated failure. Again,
Of course
a lot
it
of people
was.
like to
This is
claim
a
that
whole
Concord
huge
failed
failure.
because of contemporary politics. For me, it just seems more like the wrong product at the wrong time, which is kind of becoming a trend in the live service industry.
Concord had potential, but I just think they released it at the wrong time. And yeah, definitely the wrong time. I think it was around the whole were tired of woke culture kind of thing and Donald Trump and shit. No, I mean, I'll react to a video if you have a video you made. I'll react to one after this.
Did somebody say data? Speaking of data,
But what was I saying? Oh yeah, like I feel like the whole woke culture thing was getting people were tired of it, and this game had woke shit in it, and like right at that time, it's like everything was coming out that had woke shit in it, and people were just fucking frustrated. I think that fucking helped killed it, and then also too like nobody. It was something. It wasn't. There wasn't anything about the game that made people be like, "Oh shit, I gotta play that." You know what I'm saying? There's so many shooters coming out at the same time. It's just like people are getting whiplash from shooters. You know, I still am. I feel like I'm like, which one do I want to play? There's so many of them. It's like, golly, like figure it out.
which is the new gold. Today's video is made possible by Incogni, which is an online privacy and data protection service. Everybody wants your data, and to be brutally honest right now, pretty much everybody already has it. It's worth money, obviously. They sell it, they train machine learning models on it, and the result is that you suffer from the downstream impacts of whatever they decide to do with it, like spam phone calls, emails, junk mail, or text messages that become extremely common if your phone number, for example, gets sold out to a list of telemarketing companies. Most people are completely careless with their information, such as agreeing immediately when faced with data sharing policies on various websites or click-through agreements. But for everyday users, it's not really possible to fight back once it happens, and it does happen.
I mean, also too, it's like, what if that website has something you need on it? You know, it's hard to like not click accept on those things. But I always click deny because you can just deny the cookies and then just figure it out later. I don't know if, but some websites like we require cookies, and it's like, ugh.
There are hundreds of these data brokers. Luckily, Incogni is designed to help you with this. I've used it myself. I paid for the service, as I do with all channel sponsors. As a result, I'm happy to recommend them. The process is very easy. Sign up for the website, give them legal permission to work on your behalf, and let them know what specific information they'll be having removed. After that, they go to work, and that's it. Aggregating the service lets them streamline the process, and you'll see results pretty much immediately. Less data brokers and third party marketing companies selling your information means less junk mail, spam, text messages, phone calls, and a host of other issues that come with big businesses that you don't know about and they don't care about you having and monetizing your personal information. Using the link
Yeah.
down below in the description and code Echelon at checkout, you can get 60% off an annual subscription to Incogni. Again, link down below and promo code Echelon for 60% off your subscription. Big thank you to Incogni for sponsoring the channel. Back to
Yeah.
what comes next. Well, next is an interesting one from Electronic Arts, this time called Dragon Age The Veilguard, because
Oh my
this is
God.
where I want to talk about realistic goals.
Jesus.
Dragon Age Veilguard, in my opinion at least, is just a straight up bad game.
It is.
It's a betrayal of the original Dragon Age atmosphere. It's boring, it's arcadey, it's super cringe all the way through,
Yeah.
and it's just not worth playing. However, the game apparently sold 1.5 million copies. According to the preliminary third quarter financials published by EA themselves, the game, quote, engaged approximately 1.5 million players during the quarter, down nearly 50% from the company's expectations, end quote.
I mean, that's still a decent amount of fucking sales, but god damn, that's... I mean, a lot of people, 1.5 million people got ripped off. That's fucked. EA knows how to get people, man. They know how to scam. I tell you that. EA will scam the fuck out of his player base and run your wallets, bro. Run your pockets.
Contributed to a downward.
Do you upload any reactions to YouTube or TikTok?
Which in turn,
I upload my reactions to YouTube.
Led to a massive decrease in their share price.
They run their pockets, bro. That EA will take your shit.
Isn't a live service product. It's purely single player.
They easily took like at least $2,500 from me playing Apex on Apex skins, bro. Apex facts. I spent so much money in that game.
But
I also had like 2,500 hours, so that makes a difference.
Used to be a live service, getting rebooted in 2020.
What do you think about upcoming tariffs on games? I mean, I think tariffs are... I'm not too mad about tariffs. Everything's digital now, so I'm not too worried about buying physical copies. Maybe especially if they're printing them in America, it's probably not a big deal anyways. Nothing's on disc anymore, so I'm not really worried about that shit. But, I mean, it's mainly going to be a tariffs on products that are brought in through over the border. I believe so. Like, products and goods. I mean, if they have tariffs on video games, I don't know for sure if they do, though. They might. I heard they're going to do digital as well. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, well, if they do digital tariffs, then people are going to buy American-made games. I mean, people will pay the price for a video game if they really want to play it. But it's just going to make foreign companies make their games free to play and have a store. It's just going to change the video game market, because like if people don't want to buy it, let's say if it costs a game $150 to buy it, and people in America are like, fuck that, all it's gonna make is Sony and Nintendo do is just fucking make the game free to play and then have a store in the game, so you buy shit through the store, you know what I'm saying, at a cheaper price, and just keep like, because if they could just make it affordable for you, so you just keep spending money, then they're going to do that. Because it's going to be easier for them to just sell cosmetics at a lower price. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Free to play games. Yeah, I know. That's what I think that's going to happen, man. I think that's how they're going to do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. They might still try to sell games for like... But like, if you think about it, Microsoft owns like half the gaming space right now. And then you got Sony and Nintendo. And that's the only company that's really gonna hurt, because Microsoft publishes almost everything. And then there's European companies like Ubisoft, but they're about to die off, you know. So like, it's not gonna impact us too much. I don't think. Not gonna impact the average gamer. Like, if there's any foreign games you want to play, you're just gonna have to pay a little bit extra.
21, 6 years after,
which is probably not gonna be that bad.
As if you could possibly waste any more resources on a title like this, because EA got cold feet. That's a big deal.
Yeah, PS5s are going to be hella expensive. Just get them now from the tariffs hit. I PC game, so and my girl has a PS5, and so she, like, her dad bought her one, and she also has an Xbox, but I'm about to build her a PC, so when all that's said and done, I already have a PS5, just in case, I guess, to have for any PS5 exclusive I would want to play, but there's really nothing exclusive I want to play on PlayStation. There's really no games on the PS5. There's not a lot of them. Not a lot of games that, at least, are games that I want to play.
At least in my opinion, because pretty much everyone who played or especially reviewed the game commented on the fact that it still kind of felt like a live service, which leaves us in a really
Now if they came out with a brand new like Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank and shit, exclusive to PlayStation, bro. I'd play all those on PlayStation 5. If they had an exclusive to that, I would play all those. Have you ever built it yet on PC Part Picker? No, I've only used Newegg.
odd situation where 1.5 million players is somehow colossally disappointing. In a vacuum, 1.5 million sales of practically anything would
Anything is
be
good.
amazing. But when you
Yeah, the
spend
reason why
9
1.5 million sales is disappointing because they spent so much fucking money on the game to be made. So they're expecting like the whole world to just buy this game, and it's like their expectations of gamers is just to all go out and massively go buy this game, not knowing what it is and shit without looking at reviews, and just expect them to eat shit. You know, like they think gamers are just professional shit eaters. It's like go ahead and eat shit if you want to, but I'm not.
9 years making it, essentially making it twice at that if you think about the reboot, and God
Hmm.
knows how much more on just a bloated marketing budget,
Yeah.
suddenly an objectively successful product by itself becomes an alarming failure after wasting however many tens or hundreds of millions of dollars making it. It's funny,
Yeah.
or sad maybe, because not all studios are equal in this regard, despite what I may.
I don't know if it's just like, I think it's because like video games is the biggest media, like biggest. I mean, has the biggest. Let's say, how do I say this? Okay, so video games is the biggest entertainment media source for people in around the world, more than movies and all the television and shit like that. People play video games way more than all of those combined. You know, so I'm thinking that's why they're spending so much money because they know there's a hell of a lot of money in video gaming right now. And so they're spending all this. They want to be the next fucking Fortnite. Everybody wants to be the next fucking Fortnite, and it's just killing their games and their franchise. When all they have to do is keep making the same games they've been making with the same IPs, and then all they do is create new IPs and let it simmer on it. You know what I'm saying? But make it good and don't follow political trends, and those games would sell. That's all they have to do. Make games that people fucking want. I'm tired of these soft ass games. Like most of the people who are gaming are adults. You have the kids and shit like that, but people who are buying the games are adults. You know what I'm saying?
Think
It's
of
like
Naughty Dog
crazy.
on a personal level, in 2023, they actually canceled a live service project called Last of Us Online. To be
What?
completely honest, that's one of the few live service products out there that I would have wanted to see
Yeah,
completed.
right. Like that actually sounds like it would have been cool. Last of Us Online. I might have played that. I might would have played that. You know what I'm saying?
But the point is, they rightly identified that allocating all of their resources to this one project would probably lead to disaster. From their official announcement, quote, in ramping up to full production, the massive
Mm.
scope of our ambition became clear. To release and support The Last of Us Online, we'd have to put all of our studio resources behind supporting post launch content for years to come,
Oh, okay.
severely impacting development on future single player games.
Mm.
So we had two paths
Okay.
in front of us: become a solely live service game studio, or continue to focus on single player narrative games that have defined Naughty Dog's heritage. And
Naughty Dog. I think they should have had an offshoot studio and hired more people. That's all they should have done. They could have done both. I don't know why they don't. Because the live service Naughty Dog game, like Last of Us Online, like look at Grand Theft Auto. They make a single player narrative based driven game and they have a live service aspect of their game too. It's not like they can't do both. They just don't want to split the studio, which they could easily just make one studio focus on live service games and the other one focus on narrative driven based games. That's it. Or have a game that does both. Like that's it. Like Grand Theft Auto does. Like GTA does it well. They make billions of dollars off of their games, and they're gonna make a billions of dollars off of GTA fucking 6. Trust me, that game is gonna get played. I don't know anybody's talking negative about it, but like I heard a few people say that the games they don't think it's gonna do that well, or people's expectations are too high. I don't give a fuck about none of that. It's gonna be a great ass game, and people are gonna play the fuck out of it, just like they did GTA 5.
like it or not, that is extremely self aware, especially when you consider the fact that live service game failures have been outright crippling development studios left and right for the
There
past
have
couple of
been.
years.
I think they need to chill out on live service for a little bit. I think they're good in a sense. They work It just depends on what the game is. You can't make every game a live service. It just doesn't work
Let's
for
tie
every
everything
game.
together now, because the exact tipping point where live services become a liability rather than a predictable payday is the exact point in time where the AAA video game bubble officially popped.
Yeah.
Why do I say that? Well, honestly, it's actually
Yeah.
very simple. Anyone who pays attention to the mainstream video game market has likely felt the animosity.
They're gonna stop
building.
making live service
Players
games.
are sick of the format. Selling something shitty and promising to fix it later just isn't a respectable business model.
No.
But even more importantly, selling something for $60 or $70 and then selling $80 or $100 worth of season passes and micro
Yeah.
DLC and premium currency
Just
as you
fucking fucked.
slowly drag your feet and sort of make it a good product over the span of 2 years, that's not any better at all. Compounding that problem is that these bloated,
that link?
greedy
Is
companies
that for
have been
PC Part Picker?
monetizing so effectively with that strategy, their baseline profit levels are now completely unrealistic. Live services became effectively ubiquitous in the AAA video game market, and they've been making a whole lot more money releasing unfinished trash than they used to make when they were focusing on legitimate, deserving,
Yeah.
and fully finished games. Now for the capstone, though. According to a report from Apillion by Matthew Ball, which is an investment and strategic advisory service, I guess, all the way down on page 216, I think, of the presentation, we find this. Quote,
This guy put in work. I haven't checked it out yet. I'm just to watch this video. I'll check it out here in a second.
in 2025, GTA 6's impact on industry playtime and spend will be mixed
GTA 6, I'm telling you.
as it launches console only and severely cannibalizes hours/spend on other titles.
I just don't know why they're doing fucking console only, man. Like, it's so lame.
Down.
So lame.
But some game makers hope GTA 6 will be priced at $80 to $100, breaking the $70 barrier and helping $50 titles move up to 60, 60 to do 70, 70 to 80, etc. End quote. He goes
So they're hoping GTA. I really hope, because GTA, you know what I'm saying? They're known for being some gangsters when it comes to this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping they price that bitch at $60. You know why? Because it's GTA and they're gonna make billions off of those shark cards anyways. They don't need to price that shit at 100. Get as many copies into people's hands as possible so they can start swiping for them shark cards. Why take the extra fucking 40? Why take the extra 40 on purchase when they might drop an extra 60 to 100 on a shark card and play your game for more hours? Why do that? Like, what are you talking about, man? Come on, get the fuck out of here. GTA 6 Online is going to be fucking insane. I don't think they're going to do it. They might do it. I think I wouldn't be mad if they did do it. I wouldn't be mad at all. I'm still going to pay that $100 for the game because I want to play that game. But still at the same time, I just don't think they have to. I don't think they have to at all because this game, they want this game to last them 15 to 20 years. I can already tell. If the last one lasted for 10 years, they want this game to last them for a good 15 to 20 years. And they even said they're not even planning on making a 7. So I think they plan on making this shit last for a long ass time. Like, before they even think about it. I mean, they could just be saying that and they could be they could be finishing up and already have an idea what they want to do with 7. But nonetheless, if they're gonna be using high fidelity graphics, shit like GTA 5 looks amazing still to this day for what it is. Better than a lot of these other games. Me and the homies finna be rolling up on drug dealers. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's just gonna be crazy. It's just gonna be insane. Like, I told my friend, like, when I get that game, I'm spending at least $200, $300 on just shark cards. I'm unlocking everything. Like, I don't know. I'm like, bro, I'm going balls deep into it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Like, I want to have everything. That's just what I'm going to do. And so, like, that's why I said I don't think they care to. I don't think they need to. Yeah, I'm going to. Me and my friends already talked about it. Like, we want to get all the good shit first. You know what I'm saying? We're going to play GTA. We're going to play it. Because that's what we want to do. We want to have nice houses, nice cars, businesses already generating revenue. We want to do that shit. We want to do that shit for real.
Goes on to talk about how prices have never been lower in real terms
I'm not rich as fuck, but like, you know what I'm saying? When that game comes out, I'll have the money. I got this new job coming up, so I'll have the money.
Than they are today. There's a reason for that, and they should be this low because when you make the shift from physical to digital, and then you go to your own proprietary storefront and you harvest more of the revenue, you're basically earning more despite the fact that there's inflation. So
Yeah.
there's no excuse for raising the prices of video games.
There
what
is
I'm saying,
none.
but that's a whole separate video I've done in the past. Anyway, I find
No
this to be a
excuse.
perfect indication that
There's
the
no distribution costs. There's no printing CDs. None of that shit. There's nothing they have to do. No cases they have to make. There's no physical aspect to it. It's all digital. So they make the game, they put it on there, and you're just paying to you play license the game. Like you don't actually own a physical copy of the game, so there's no reason for game prices to go up to 100.
bubble has already popped. See, GTA 6 costing $100 in a vacuum is most likely perfectly fine. A game of that scale with the track record that Rockstar has, GTA 5, Red Dead 2, etc. Yeah, $100 might just be pennies per hour of entertainment, beating out most, if not all, other contemporary releases. However, the broader market, yeah, they do not deserve that money.
That link you
Major
gave me
gaming
gave a
publishers
return to
have been
403
releasing
forbidden
absolute garbage,
response.
often
By
so
the
bad
way,
it gets canceled, recalled, or shelved within months, as they over monetize that garbage. And when faced with a situation,
that's where they fuck up, man. They over monetize the shit. Have shit in the store, right? At a decent fucking price. Have the game money that you earn in the game. Have that be the shit you can buy shit from the store with. Shit you can grind for in the game, you should be able to buy cosmetics with the shit you grind for in the game. But if you want to get it now, like GTA does, if you want to get it now, you could just swipe that card and get like 10 million of that in-game money that you buy with everything else in the game to buy said cosmetics. It makes sense. Like when you pay for shark cards, you're paying for in-game money. And then you take that in-game money and you're buying cars and businesses and all that other shit in the game, clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know why they fuck that shit up every time.
where the business model of live
It's still
service
giving that
is faltering,
server 404
raising the prices
response.
on your customers to make
It's just
up
that's
the
what it says.
shortfall of
Server
your own
returned at
habitual
403
failure
failures
isn't
an error
the
had occurred.
solution. It's like the Titanic.
But yeah, no, like it's just I don't understand. I just don't understand why these game companies just they want to have separate currencies and then you get confused about currencies and it's like it costs this much for a fucking skin. Yeah, I don't know why. Back to the video.
But imagine if the captain grabbed the wheel and just steered it full tilt right into the iceberg because he's too stupid to realize that the ice doesn't give a shit how fancy the rich people's boat is. The AAA gaming bubble already popped because they've been squeezing their audience with scumbag tactics and trash tier products for years with no backup plan. Remember, there's an imperative here from the shareholders that they continue to make more money every single quarter like clockwork without fail. More, never less, not even the same, has to be more or it's failure. And if they don't do that, they get removed as leadership, right?
Yeah.
That's when you see the CEO get purged or a new CTO or whatever, right?
Yeah.
The board of directors
Every
becomes
time.
unhappy. Well, what happens when you can't make more money? Because no one wants what you're making, and what you
can't.
were making was already so hyper calibrated to steal as much as you could get from the customers without deserving that money because you didn't make something that actually deserved the price tag.
$1,000 spent in this PC. Yo, what's up, nice stream? Keep it up. Really enjoy this game and would love to play. Oh my god, bro, it's a fucking bot. Anyways,
Of reputable game ever will make up the difference to that. That's how a bubble pops, obviously.
yeah, no,
Because you can't go up anymore. You
Yeah.
destroyed your own credibility to a degree where you can only go down.
yep.
Everyone's felt what I'm talking about here.
I mean, I know what you're talking about. The AAA bubble has definitely burst. Is because yeah, like he's saying, like they've min-maxed their fucking profit, their profit margins and everything so much to where it's like they try to suck every last fucking penny out of you just to play this live service game or this other shit, and it's like, what's your question? Anyways, they're just trying to min-max everything in this fucking game so much. I mean, any other games is that people are starting to recognize patterns and trends, and they realize this is not what I want to spend my money on because they know the game's gonna die and they spent fucking $2,000 on it and they're shit out of luck. Yeah, I know 21
totally
Pilots.
honest with each other. Games are just shit nowadays. Yeah, there's highlights. good ones here and there and indie games that go above and beyond. Absolutely, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But the AAA video game market is rightfully falling apart in my
Yeah, it
opinion,
is.
because they just don't do good work anymore.
They
They
don't.
got lazy, they got greedy, they
Yep.
prioritize marketing and live service products above innovation,
Yep.
and it's completely disconnected. It's a bunch of people in suits that think like, "Oh, if we change the price tag, it's going to fix the problem where we're only getting 1.5 million copies sold."
Yeah.
No, make a good game. Don't make cartoony, arcadey garbage that betrays the franchise history. Like,
Yep.
stop. It's insane to me. Eventually, the cycle comes crashing down on their
I
heads.
mean, they'll learn. They'll learn eventually. They'll lose a whole bunch of fucking money. That's just how this works. They'll just lose a fuck ton of money, and then somebody else who does it better will take their spot until they become too big and overflated, and then it happens over. It's gonna be a trend. That's all it is. It's almost like the stock market or like governments. They get so big and then eventually they fall, and then they get back big again and they fall. Things rise and fall. That's how it
Which
goes.
I believe is now imminently happening, especially if they try to raise the prices. That is the most comedic thing about all of this. Raising prices on the same live service slop that the
Garbage is not
community
gonna
is
help them out.
already openly rejecting doesn't save your business. It accelerates the pop of the bubble, which I think
It
is
really
here.
does.
And I'm not even slightly sad about it. Major
I'm not
publishers
either.
years ago, many years ago, identified that they could sell half finished bullshit and monetize it every step of the way. Over time, people got sick of it. The market is crowded, the innovation is gone, and people are now much more risk averse when it comes to buying something that might, with big air quotes, get better over time. Customer mentality changes. It's an ebb and flow, right? There's tides there. But what does not change are the greedy expectations of publishing companies, leaving them in a situation of their own design, by the way, where they can't make the money that they're expected to make, which leads, inexorably, to a crash. The AAA gaming bubble, as a result of live service fixation, has popped. That's it.
Yeah.
If you want to support the channel, check out the links down below. Video sponsor, of course, Incogni, Locals, and Patreon for monthly subscriptions, channel memberships,
Damn.
merchandise, etc.
I totally agree with him.
I'll cut it there and stop.
I totally agree with him. I think the AAA market bubble has burst, and there's no saving it. There's nothing they can do to save it. They've done too much garbage. All right.